Happy Terry Tuesday. How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's Tuesday morning. It's Horseshoe Indianapolis time. So, horseshoe symbolism for good luck, I suppose. Something we can use after last night having a little bit of bad luck with technology, trying to get connected with Aaron McClellan for the Horse Center show.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, couldn't get the technology to sync, my man.
Yeah, I see. There were a couple of people got a little bit disappointed, I guess, or a few people.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
disappointed too. We worked on it for like 40 minutes and we couldn't get it to go. So,
Yeah, I know.
Well, hopefully that won't be an issue tonight with jockey Jose Gomez, who will be on tonight at 8 o'clock Eastern. Hopefully we don't have any technical difficulties. I don't suspect that we will. If you have any questions for the young jockey, make sure you tune in tonight, 8 p.m. The best way to make sure you don't miss anything, you know the drill. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so when we go live, you're notified. Hopefully when we go live this time, there won't be any technical difficulties.
Sounds good. Yep. Look forward to it.
So yesterday we had an okay day at Parks. Both of us hitting our the prime rib pick 4. Yeah, my 3 horse got disqualified as my best bet. Didn't win anyway, but I don't. Let's talk quickly about that DQ, real Terry. I think it was one of the worst DQs I've ever seen.
It was terrible. That one come over, bumped the 2, who then bumped the 3, which moved the 3 into the rest of that group. And yeah, I thought, when it was going on, I thought, okay, well, they're going to disqualify the 1. And I was shocked it was the 3. And then, last night, or maybe yesterday, 2 of the hosts at TVG, well, it's FanDuel now, they were kind of going back and forth and had different opinions whether that horse should be disqualified or shouldn't be disqualified. But they never even mentioned the 1 coming over. So I was surprised about that.
Yeah, clearly on the replay, you saw the 1 smash into the 2. The 2 moved into the 3.
Right.
And then, obviously Paco has a history or at least a reputation of being an aggressive rider.
Yeah.
Just looked to me like he tried to get his horse off the 2. And then when he pulled his horse off, it did go over to the other lane. And I understand that, but never even made contact with the 4. I thought it was a horrible DQ. I think
it was.
I think really was a message to Paco if I had my own personal opinion on that.
Yeah. And the Sarge said, what his opinion was, hey, that was a mild race. That was not very much of a disturbance. It had a whole rest of the mile to make up and whatever. And then it was Rich Perloff's opinion that, well, he disturbed him, and it probably could have made it so that he didn't finish as well or where he should have. So,
well, I think the question has to be is, did the action happen in a vacuum, or were there a chain of events that led up to it?
Well, there was a chain of events, yeah.
Absolutely. In which case, if there's a chain of events, it's really, I think it's a reaction to what's going on and not an attempt to block or interfere with other people, which I view as 2 completely different things.
Right. Yeah. And it wasn't a deal where you weren't controlling your horse or weren't trying, because he was. Mm-hmm. He was trying to do the right thing. So I think in those situations, it should go back to the horse that started the chain reaction.
Right. And at which point I think the 3 shouldn't have gotten disqualified. Wouldn't have finished second, wouldn't have made me a winner, but all right. Let's see if we can make me a winner today, Terry. You're echoing, so I'm going to mute you.
Oh.
So Horseshoe Indianapolis today, we're going to start off with, obviously, race number 1, 9 race card, 8 thoroughbred. The last one, of course, is and I forgot to put my numbers in there. Oh, and it's my long shot to boot. How about that? I got to get those numbers, Terry. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with race number 1 at Horseshoe Indianapolis. This one's 5.5 furlongs on the main track at 5.5 furlongs so far. The profile of a winner at 5.5 furlongs has been one that's favored. Speed, as you can imagine, post 2 through 7 have done the best. There is a slight discount if you drive the rail, bigger discount if you have to wear an 8 or out. Let's introduce our way to the winner's worksheet for the first time today, Terry. In race number 1, we see that there are no scratches in this race. Very few scratches on the card today. Again, real quick rundown. E-horses are horses that need the lead to win. So on the past performances, 1-1-1-1-1. EP can be pilots or co-pilots, pressure horses. Pressure horses usually they don't take the lead and win wire to wire, but they are usually within 2 lengths of the leader at the first call. Pressure closer, horses that can pressure, don't take the lead. Well, sometimes they do. These horses do everything, so they're really quite confusing, but also the most versatile. Closers are horses that are never within 2 lengths of the leader at the first call. Just a quick rundown of the early pace here. We see the 5 horse gets a square.
You need to put your sheet up. Nobody sees it.
Oh, so I got to put the sheet up. There we go. Sorry. I see it on my screen. I just don't see it on that screen. So there you see the 5 horse has a little bit of early pace. The 3 horse has a left arrow here, getting started in the good way, and a plus at the 4 furlongs, likely to be a little bit ahead of everybody else at the half-mile marker. The 7 horse and the 8 horse closers with the most late speed. All right, Terry, let's pull up the picks and see if you can get this right, because I'm screwing up a lot lately in the beginning.
That's all right. I like that number 3 horse that you mentioned there, Premier Wish. She drops in class today and has received the highest last speed rating. And then number 5 is my second pick, Dream Streak. She finished 3rd versus similar on the turf in her last race. Then I like the number 4 as my 3rd pick, Dial It Up a Notch. She has finished in the money in the last 4 races, winning one of those starts. And then my 4th pick is number 1, Only Time. She drops in class today, has a trainer who wins 24% of the races when taking a horse from turf to dirt, and has a good 4 furlong workout on October 28th.
All right. For me in race number 1, I'm going to start with the 3 horse, which is Premier Wish. Just like you, Terry, this was the horse, as I mentioned, that had that really nice advantage on the left arrow with the early pace edge at 4 furlongs, better fractions in that last race. And I think this one has a chance to do even better in the second start off the layoff. Number 5, Dream Streak. Terry in my computer once again. Should be close to the front from from go to photo. Number 1, Only Time is my 3rd choice. This guy's flipping from turf to dirt. Trainer Cheryl Weinbaugh does win at 24% off that angle. And then finally, number 4, Dial It Up a Notch. Has a top early pace, late pace combination in the field. But I do think that 3 horse is my best bet for the day in race number 1. So we're coming out of the barn swinging, Mr. Terry, unquestionably. Race number 2 is a 6 furlong race, claiming for $5,000. The purse is $12,500. Let's bring it up this time for race number 2. Again, we can see that the 5 horse here is the one that has the most pace, does have a plus advantage at the 4 furlong marker, also has the second best late pace numbers in here, also has a plus advantage when you combine the early pace and late pace. Another horse that potentially is a front runner that does have some late pace too is the 8 horse. So maybe the 5 and the 8 get to the front and make it very difficult for others to pass them, Terry. Which horses do you think are going to be on the front at the end?
Well, I'll tell you what. I like the number 7 horse, I Dare You to Dance. She ran 2nd versus similar in her last race and likes the track, finishing in the money 50% of the starts there. And then I like number 5, Sharp Justice, as my 2nd pick. She's got an early foot and drops in class today. And then number 4, Prime and Proper is my 3rd pick. She has an early foot and has a good trainer and jockey. And then number 1 is my 4th pick, West Coast Justice. She had trouble in her last race, drops in class today, and has a good trainer.
This one is my box it up, Terry, in race number 2. Box it up is when we take 4 horses, we put them together in an exacta box, trifecta box, and a superfecta box. I'm going to start off with number 5, Sharp Justice, which was your 2nd pick. It's my 1st pick, Sharp Justice. Sharp Justice, this thoroughbred, has a plus early pace advantage, as we showed on the way to the winner's worksheet at the half-mile marker. Also owns the best combination of early speed and late speed, so should be involved from start to finish. Did run slightly better fractions last time out. I Dare You to Dance did run the top last race speed figure and should be close to the front, chasing that 5 all the way around the track. So maybe they go 1-2 from gate to wire. Number 2, Remember Me First. It's the most lightly raced horse in this field. Does have some decent workouts between races, so you don't really know the upside this horse. Maybe enough to get past everybody else. And then number 8, Sister Justice, did run a Z pattern last time out. That's where the early pace figures are here, mid-race figures drop, and then the late pace figures pick it back up again. This is the first time with trainer Darlene Green. Not that many races like that, just 5 so far, but did manage to win 2 of them. So that's a 40% hit rate, albeit a small sample size. Race number 3 on the card is 1 mile. This one is a maiden for maiden special weight for $38,500. Profile of the winner at 1 mile. And there's quite a few races at 1 mile and 6 furlongs today. So keep an eye on the track bias as it develops today. But so far at a mile, early speed has been the way. There is a rail penalty and a small penalty if you wear an 8 or out. Overall, 2 through 7 play fair. And if we look at the way this race shapes up, got a couple horses in here. First of all, we noticed that there are some like the sideways marks, down arrows. These are horses that are moving up or down in class. Again, very important, I think, in maiden races. We do get a left arrow horse almost comically here out of the 7, although this horse does show some early pace. Gets an NC, the dreaded NC. So far, that horse has never been close. The 4 horse does have a double plus late pace advantage over everybody else. The 1 and the 5 could prove to be early speed that gets out by themselves. So if they can run decent fractions, slow side, they could be very difficult to pass as the race develops. Terry, tell us how you think the race is going to develop.
Well, I like that double one that you talked about, number 4, 9-pointer. That's my first pick. He finished 3rd versus similar in his only start and is a closer who will excel with the extra distance of this race. Then I like number 1, Outstanding Justice. He ran 2nd versus similar in his last race, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Number 6 is my 3rd choice, Scenic Justice. Has a good jockey. And then I like number 5, CJ Storm is my 4th pick. He had trouble in his last race, so I'll throw that race out, and he has decent workouts.
All right. So for me, Ian, race number 3. Let me put you on mute again, Terry. Race number 3, I like I was going to jump around from page to page because this echo drives me bananas at times. I like 9-pointer too, talking about deer, I guess. Does have a plus late pace advantage over everybody else in this field. So if it's within 2 lengths, coming down the stretch, has the late ability to run by them all. Only 1 race so far, so we'll see if that can carry it through to race number 2. Going to go to route now, so I do think that extra late pace should be helpful. Number 1, Outstanding Justice, my 2nd choice as well, Terry. This one went long for the first time last time out, and that ended in the top last race speed figure. Hope it can improve in race 2 at a route. Number 5, CJ's Storm is the lone P horse in this field. So it's going to sit between the early speed. Well, there's only 1 horse with early speed. That's the 1 horse. So it should get a pretty good trip all the way around the track. It's going to be in front of the closers, right behind the leader. And if the leader goes a little too quick, can run by it. And then finally, number 6, Scenic Justice. If you look at that race on paper last time out, it kind of looks pretty bad. But it was better than it looks with better internal race numbers. Race 4, Terry, is your box set up. Let's go ahead and put in your numbers quickly. What are they for me? Hold on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you what they are. And number 4 is the 4, the 6, the 5, and then the 1.
4, 6, 5, and 1 is your box set up.
Yep.
Tell us why.
Okay. I like number 4, Spoke. You know, she's finished in the money in the last 4 races. She won 2 of those starts. And then I like number 6, Space Force 1. She has won 2 races in a row and now is going for a hat trick and has the highest last speed rating. Number 5 is my 3rd pick, Guard. She closed to win her last race at Horseshoe Indianapolis, which may be a plus with all the speed in this race. And then number 1, Silent Sonata. She has finished in the money in the last race, finishing 3rd on turf in her last race.
All right. So that's Terry's box it up. 4 horses, $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box, 10-cent superfecta box. Hopefully it comes home today. And one of the things that we're doing is we're having a contest for the month. So make sure you vote for Team Terry and Charles or Team Rich. Right now, they have about a $500 lead on me. So at the end of the month, whoever collects the most winnings, and what we're doing is $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box for all of our picks for every race, and then also including in our hot dog and prime rib pick fours. So head on over to Horse Race the number 2 day, Horse Race the number 2 day on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Let us know which team you're on. And then at the end of the month, we'll pull a name out of the hat from the winning team, and you'll get some free Horse Racing Today gear. So you'll get a nice sweatshirt or something along those lines that you'll see at our HRT gear shop. You can find that, support the show by going on over to horseracingtoday.net. Click on the HRT gear and get yourself some good looking Horse Racing Today gear. You'll think you'll be the best looking person at the party right there. Good morning, Barry. How are you? What other races, big race days, do you Euro trainers target over here in the States besides the Breeders' Cup and Kentucky Derby? Well, most of the stuff is on the turf racing. I think when you're looking for those international horses more so than the dirt races, I do think we have the edge on the dirt stuff compared to the. But you do have a series of races at Saratoga, at Belmont. There are also some races at Kentucky Downs where you start to see some of these international grass horses come in. So I would pay attention to the big turf races. That's where you're going to find them, Terry. What do you think?
Yes, I think that's true. And there could be some turf races, although the weather might affect it for the Pegasus Cup day. So,
yeah, that's in, I think, like January 28th or something like that at Gulfstream Park. Yeah, you'll see some international horses there too as well, unquestionably. All right, so on to my picks for race number 4 at Horseshoe Indianapolis, where there aren't going to be any international horses today. My first pick in race number 4, like you, Terry, is the 4-horse Spoke. Spoke does have a plus advantage at 2 furlongs and 4 furlongs.
Need to put the sheet up, though. Sorry.
Yeah, I didn't put the sheet up this time. I don't know what I'm doing here right now. It does have that plus advantage, as we talked about. So I would imagine seeing this 4-horse on the lead pretty much from start to finish. Increased its speed figure 3 races in a row. Going long for the first time is the question for me. Number 6, Space Force 1, winner of 2 in a row, and the last one in a big way with an amazing kick at the end of the race. So that kick was out of line for what it's done in pretty much every other previous start. So I would expect a little regression here. Number 7, American Nightmare, woke up major league in its last race at Horseshoe Indianapolis, 7 times out, 3 seconds and a third, 2 wins and 4 tries at the distance. So we'll see if it can carry that newfound form in this race compared to the last race. Number 1, Silent Sonata, the final choice here. This one ran well against Open Company in its last race and is back to state breds right now. And with that, we're going to go back to our hot dog pick 4s, Terry, because that's where we're going to start our pick 4 tickets today. And this is what they look like. Terry is going to go with the single in the race number 2. It's not even your best bet, so tell me why you're singling that guy. You're on mute.
All righty then. Let me get back here. You know, I like I Dare You to Dance. She's the pretty good second last race, and she really likes this track, finishing 50% of her starts. I just don't see a lot of competition for her in there because I think the speed's going to run themselves into the ground, and she's going to come and get them.
All right, that's your thinking there. I think this has a chance to be very, or at least the early part of the card. I hope for horse players that are playing it, it's not. But I think the first 4 races have a chance to be really, really chalky, and that's why I only put $12 to work, because it might only pay $12. All right, race number 5, next up on our list. I wonder why only you echo, Terry. I can't quite figure that out. It drives me bananas. But in any case, race number 5 at Horseshoe Indianapolis. This one, to start the second half of the card, and the late pick 4 is 1 mile on the turf. It looks like right now, I know the weather in the Midwest has been really nice, so this one should be on a firm surface. So far, at 1 mile on the grass, when they give it a go at Horseshoe Indianapolis, we find that it's pretty even between speed and horses that come off the pace, 50-50. Small rail penalty, not a deal killer. 2 through 7 play very fair off the post positions, and you do get a noticeable penalty if you catch an outside post beyond 8 and beyond. When we look at the way to the winner's circle in race number 5, we do see, I think, an interesting race shape right here, Terry. The 2 is scratched, as is the 12, which wasn't also eligible. But almost, you have one horse over here that wants to be the lone speed. The early pace numbers suggest it might not be on the lead, but just about everything else in here is a closer. or pressure horse. So not a lot of early speed here. So I think this, it was 50-50. So I think that the speed part of the 50-50 could have a chance with this 6 horse, has damn near a 3 check mark advantage at the 4 furlong marker. So it could be 2.5 lengths in front of everybody else. If closers do get the job done, the 8 has a plus advantage over everyone else, but it is the 9 horse that has the best combination of early speed and late speed. What's the combination for you in terms of your picks for race number 5?
Well, I like that number 6 horse that you were talking about, Decree of Love. She ran second versus Tougher in her last race, and she drops in class today. And then number 9 is my second pick, Investment Income. She ran second in the first race after being claimed for the trainer, but the trainer wins 50% of the races in the second race after claiming a horse. Then I like number 3, Colonel Abbey. She was only beaten a length and a quarter versus Tougher at her last start, and she has the highest speed figure at today's distance. And then my 4th pick is number 10, Be a Bolt Runner. She drops in class today and has a high percentage winning jockey. And of course, that 2 getting scratched kind of really messed up my picks. So I had to really,
You had to regroup?
Regroup, yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, and for myself here, let me mute Terry. Well, he did it good. Perfect. Thank you, Terry. For me in race number 5, I am going to start off with Colonel ABY. Is that right? Number 5, Terry, and the 3 horse. It's your 3rd pick. All right. This one did run the top last race. Speed figure drops in class. Ran considerably better fractions last time out. Though I do worry a little bit about some regressions in the second start off the bench. Horse has shown that sometimes it can back up a little bit, but if it runs the same race or improves at all, could make easy work here. Number 6, your first choice, my second choice. Decree of Love. This thoroughbred almost has a triple advantage at the 4 furlong marker, as we discussed in the early pace worksheet there. This one could be better in the third start off a layoff, but we don't know because the horse has never made it 3 races in a row. So we'll see if it has endurance, if it builds, or if the horse is tired. Number 9, Investment Income. Trainer Lindsay Schultz, winner of 4 out of 8 races, second off of the claim. This one, as we mentioned, does have the best combination of early speed and late speed, so likely to run a very complete race. And then finally, number 5, Split Decision. Was a tough call for me, Terry, over your number 10, but got the better of the 10 in their last race, and both are making the third start off a layoff. So they're one and the same. The question is who flips what this time around. Race 6 is a 1 mile as we go back to the dirt. Maiden, special weight of $38,500. That is the purse money as well. If you're looking for what the track bias looks like, 1 mile on the dirt, again, pay attention to some of the earlier races. I think race number 4 is 1 mile as well. But so far in the year, early speed has won. You do get penalized if you wear the 1 or an 8 or out. Everything else is kind of fair in the middle. So it is a pretty even race. Interesting race shape again, in that you don't have any horses in here that really want to have the lead at all. So that means a 2 horse likely to get the advantage here. Does have a plus advantage at 4 furlongs. That's a positive. You got a lone PC horse in here. They are always dangerous. And if you go ahead and you look at the past performances, you see a lot of these horses ran maiden special weight last time. And then you'll see I have up arrows in here, meaning these horses are going up in class. For me, if the horse has already made a drop into the maiden claiming before and didn't win and is now returning to maiden special weight, that's still a move up in class to me. And then finally, if you're looking for the late mover, you're looking at the 5 horse here, and you do have a left arrow horse in the 8 as well. I think this race is fairly much wide open, Terry. Probably why you wanted to do the prime rib pick 4 starting and race number 5 instead of race number 1. Is that correct?
Yes, that's very correct. So anyway, I like in the 6th race, I like number 5 is my first pick, Epic the Legend. You know, she ran second versus similar in her last race, and she has the best dirt speed among today's starters. Then number 1, Presto Bench. She is knocking at the door, finishing in the money in 7 of her last 8 races, and has a good workout on October 29th. Then I like number 2, Bumpy. She ran second versus similar in her last race, has a high percentage winning trainer, and switches to a high percentage winning jockey. And then I like Take Charge Justice. she likes finishing third, as she's done that several times in a row, and she did it again versus similar in her last race.
So take Charge Justice in the 6th race. That's number 3, right?
That's correct.
All right. So that's the name of that racehorse. Again, for me in race number 6, I'm going to start with excuse me, I have to jump back and forth there to get rid of that echo. So race number 6, I like the one horse as my top choice. That is Presto Bench. I really didn't want to put the favorite here on top, but the last few speed figures, although they're not very good, are still considerably better than any of the other horses in this field. So this one's going to have to regress, or some of the others are going to have to pop. Bumpy is my second choice. Ran somewhat better fractions last time out. Been effective at Horseshoe Indianapolis, 6 races, 2 seconds, 2/3. Hasn't won yet. Of course, none of them have. It's otherwise it'd be a maiden special weight. Number 3, Epic the Legend, is my third choice. Numbers for the first half mile of this horse were on the improve, indicating horse might continue to move up, and has a pair of seconds at the distance. So looking to make that go today. And finally, number 8. This one is Just a Notion. It is that left arrow horse that shaved off about a half a second off its final 6 furlong time last time out. Race 6 was Terry's long shot. And that means race 7 is going to be your best bet. Looks like on the card here, Terry. So Terry has the long shot best bet combination for race number 7. So maybe a nice daily double. Race 7, 6 furlongs. This one's the marquee race on the card. Allowance of $36,000 for a purse of $36,000. As we mentioned, at 6 furlongs, you want your horses to be fast. You probably want them to be on the inside and outside. And there is a small discount if you wear post 4 through number 7. For race number 7, we see a couple of interesting scratches in here that I think impact the outcome of this race potentially. The 1 and the 2 that could have accelerated the early pace are gone. It means this 9 horse, this left arrow horse, which already had the best early pace numbers, going to have less competition to deal with, only going to have to contend with the 4. I would expect some of these horses up here, these pressure closer types, to maybe move a little bit closer to the lead than usual. If so, this 6 horse has a major late pace advantage. And when you combine early and late run, 3 check marks better than the next person, or 15 points, Terry. If that horse is sitting right off the lead coming out of that turn, could be next to impossible to hold the 6 horse off. Is that why it's your best bet, if I'm guessing?
Absolutely. This horse, I love this horse. I've played it in the past a couple of times, and, at Oaklawn Park. Anyway, Garhold, number 6, won 4 races in a row. And
does the layoff concern you?
Not really, because I think, he's been doing some workouts, I think. And yeah, no, I don't, it doesn't bother me at all. Anyway, he won 4 races in a row, and then his last race broke slow and finished 3rd at Oaklawn Park. I'm going to throw that race out because he doesn't normally break that slow. And maybe he was a little off or something. Maybe that's why he hasn't raced for a while. Then I think number 3 is my second choice, Dioral's Wish. He has won 2 races in a row and has a good trainer and jockey. And then number 8, Stop Hammer Time, MC. He ran second in his last race and has a trainer in the last 14 days. Has been in the money 11 out of 14 starts with 5 wins, 3 seconds, and 3/3. And then I like number 5, Dudley, as my 4th pick. He finished 3rd in his last race and had won the race before that.
Who is your second pick again?
Number 3, Dioral's Wish.
Yes, because Barry was pointing out that again, Rich, I don't know, man, I'm having some like old people problems or something because the brain's not working the way it's supposed to work. He did mention that in race number 6. I accidentally put the 3 in there. It is the 5. I do have it in my notes. So when you go over to horseracingtoday.net to catch the race notes, I will have it correct over there. And thank you, Barry. I absolutely appreciate the quality control check because trying to navigate 10 things at once, a little bit difficult. But hopefully in the new year, I got some software and stuff that we're working on. Hopefully we're going to really improve the quality of these shows in terms of the presentation in 2023. The picks, we're going to always try to get better, but we're going to add some animation. We're going to add some better music. It's going to really be, we're going to add some more video. It's actually, we're we're looking forward to a phenomenal 2023. I can't tell you how excited I am. I like the 6-horse too, Terry, but I'm not excited about this track dropper from Oaklawn with that long break. But the good news is the last time the horse was off for a long time, did come back to win, a smashing win. So we'll see if they can repeat that cycle. Number 3, Dioro's Wish. I wanted to rank this one first. If he runs the same race as he ran the last time, probably wins this race. But when you look at those races numbers internally, the speed numbers, just all of the numbers across the board, so much higher than anything that this horse has ever done before, unless he's eaten the good hay or something else is going on. The horse has hit a new high. I would expect some regression here. Number 9, A Few Too Many. That describes my college fraternity days to a T. Thankfully, they're over. This is a left harrow horse and the lone P horse in this field. I think that's going to be a lethal combination, especially with those scratches. Going to move this horse considerably forward. And then finally, number 8, Stop Hammer Time. Terry used to wear those Hammer Time pants back in the day. Was a tough call for me over the 7. The numbers are the same, but the 7 horse is coming off the maiden win. And I'm not the biggest fan of horses coming off the maiden win if they don't run the top last race speed figure, which that horse did not do. Get that straight out of Barry Meadows' book, The Skeptical Handicapper. If you're into stats like I am, you're going to want to check that book out. Final thoroughbred race of the day at Horseshoe Indianapolis is another 6-furlong race. This one's claiming 5,000 non-winners of 3 lifetime. The purse is 12 grand, Terry. The final time, look at our way to the winner's circle worksheet for race number 8. You got a little bit of a triangular race here. A lot of the speed in the front part of the card. So this one could get a little bit fast up front. 2 horse of all of these horses has the most early speed. The 3 horse was right behind. So these 4, 5, and 8, they could really struggle if they don't get themselves to the front. I think you could get an early pace here that goes a little bit quicker than folks might want. That would open a door for the 6 horse with its best late pace numbers. Should sit right behind the wall of speed and be a very competitive horse at the end of this race. Terry, how are you going to close out your prime rib pick 4?
Well, I like the number 6 as my first pick, Magnificent Revenge. She is a closer, and with all this early speed in the race, it can be just a ticket for her to win. And then number 4, Kisses and So Sweet. She won her last race at Horseshoe Indianapolis, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then I like number 3, that was my second pick, number 4. Then I like number 3, Rock of Cashel. She likes Horseshoe Indianapolis. She's finished in the money 55% of the starts there and have won 22% of those starts. And then number 2, Backstreet Lady. She has a lot of early speed, but with all the other speed in the race, she may have a problem going all the way with it.
So I'm going to start with Magnificent Revenge, facing off against a bunch of speed here, as we mentioned, in the way to the winner's circle worksheet, and should be able to, with that top late pace combination and early pace with a lot of late run, go by him at the end. Number 2, this one really scares me because it has a ton of, it got some jets when the gates open, but tends to fade when pressured. It's a lot of speed in here, but if this horse carries its lead in speed into the stretch, they might not pass it. Number 4, Kisses So Sweet. This is my third choice. I did the conditional formatting for this stuff, and it's never put certain numbers like get it right. But anyway, this one tied for the top last race speed figure and drops multiple classes, which is curious to me. Must be just a thing. A condition was available and maybe an easier race. Trainer Randy Klopp does win at 31% when he stays in claiming ranks. But the drop off the claim, I think if I remember correctly, he's done it a couple times and hasn't won any of them. Number 8, final choice in the thoroughbred races today looks like if the 8's going to have a good day for 4th place. If you can bet which horse would finish 4th the most often somewhere, I'd pick the 8 at Horseshoe Indianapolis today. Anyway, this horse was better across the board. Early pace, mid pace, late pace improved. 3 consecutive speed figures in a row on the rise. Looking to see if it can make it 4 in a row. Let's see, Terry, if we can make it 2 in a row with our prime rib pick 4s. You put together a $100 ticket. I put together a $90 ticket. Looks to me like you think race 6 is the key that unlocks the winner.
Yeah, and you would probably be, concerned. Why didn't I use the 6 by itself and the 7th? And I'll tell you the reason why is I was a little concerned with how long it had been off. So if it doesn't win that race, I think it's very competitive for the rest of those horses. And I thought this in the 6th race, the 1 and the 5 were the 2 horses that looked pretty good. I do wish I had your 2 in there, but it's too much money. 100's all I can do. So
That's all I'm allowing you, Terry. You don't get any more than that. All right, so that's our hot dog, our prime rib pick 4. Again, real quick look at all of our thoroughbred picks from races 1 through 8. Again, Terry and Team Charles are teaming up against me. I am teaming up against them. Head on over to our social sites below. Make sure you sign up. Put your vote in for Team Terry and Team Charles or Team Rich. At the end of the month, we're going to count up who's won the most money by exacta and trifecta boxes. $1 exacta box, 50-cent trifecta box for our 4 picks and our prime rib and hot dog pick 4s. If you're on the right team, we'll pull your name out of a hat and you can win a sweatshirt or a hat, your choice for sure. All right. So the last race, Terry, of the day is a 330-yard, I think, or 400-yard quarter horse race. Now, I don't really, these aren't my favorite things, but as I was going through the other part of the card, I had a really hard time finding a horse that was like 4-1, 5-1, somewhere in that range that I wanted to put on top today. So the only place I found one was the 5 horse, our game changer in this in this little bit of a popcorn race, the lottery. And unlike the Powerball, where they delayed it a few hours, what the hell is that all about? Are they making sure they know who wins? What is this? Are the Russians interfering with our lottery too? I mean, what the hell is going on? Anyway, this will go off on time, this popcorn race, Terry. Who do you like? You have to unmute yourself, my friend.
Sorry. I know that you picked your long shot there, and I had a hard time picking my long shot too. There wasn't too many of them. So I understand now why you did that, although you don't like quarter horses or you're not that big on them. I like the number 2, Sorcerer's Stone. She won her last race at Horseshoe Indianapolis after just missing in the 3 races before. And then number 5, Our Game Changer. She finished 3rd in her last race. With a better break, she should do better in this race. And then number 6, Beowulf, which is a horse I've bet before in the past. He only missed by 3/4 of a length in his last race and has a 1 win at Horseshoe Indianapolis. And then I like number 3, Too Pretty to Catch. He finished in the money in 6 out of 10 races at Horseshoe International.
Beowulf. Did you remember reading that book in high school, Terry?
I did, yeah.
That's when I remember reading as well. All right, so there you go. My best bets in race number 1. Terry's best bet in race number 7. Terry's long shot is in race number 5, so you can do a Terry long shot best bet daily double races 6 and 7. Horseshoe Indianapolis. Again, for me, I didn't want to force anything today. The one race where I felt like maybe I was going to put my long shot was the 3 in front of the 6. It's just so concerned that that horse is going to regress today. And then if it does regress badly, could finish off the board. But you got to expect that it should run a similar race this time out. Our box it ups in race number 4 for Terry, the 4, the 6, the 5, and the 1. For me, race number 2, the 5, the 7, the 2, the 8, $1 exacta box, 50-cent try, 10-cent super. Hot dog pick 4s where we only get $20 to spend, which drives Terry crazy, but we still win these a fair share of our time. Terry's entire card, hot dog pick 4 going to be dependent on that 7 horse. Fortunately, it's the lucky number 7. I'm going to go 3 by 2 by 2 by 2. So sort of a Noah ticket, 2 by 2 by 2. Then our prime rib pick 4s, Terry with the $100 ticket. Again, relying on the 1 or the 5. I go a little bit deeper in the middle race in the race number 6. But Terry's deeper than me in race 3, 5, and 8. So keep that in mind when you're looking at your Horseshoe Indianapolis selections as well today. Speaking of selections, Terry, if you're going to bet over at Finger Lakes, the selections you're going to want are at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description below. Please click on that or click on any link in our social sites or over at horseracingtoday.net so they know where you're coming from. You will see the free race number 1, the 5 horse, Winter Siren. Unfortunately, Winter is on its way up here. Top pick in race number 1 at Finger Lakes. And later on today, I think I closed the Horseshoe. I think I closed up with the picks with the Professor, Terry. So let me bring that up real quick. While I bring it up, just know that the Picks with Professor will be available every day now because college basketball is in full swing. So make sure you head on over to the Picks with the Professor if you like college basketball. You can see that some of his Patreon picks did yesterday pretty well, won 2 out of 3. Unfortunately, the free one yesterday didn't win. But today's total of the day is Manhattan and Virginia Commonwealth under 133. Oh, that was, I don't know. Just head on over there and watch the show because I got to read the site a little bit better. But there's a link to that below as well. So check that out. All right, Terry, tomorrow, Charles and I will most likely be back. There might be something I got to do in the morning tomorrow. Certainly keep up to our horse race today. Social sites will know for sure. There'll be an announcement there if I can't make it. Otherwise, we're going to do Churchill tomorrow, Aqueduct on Thursday. We're going to do Shayton, Tom and I for Friday. I think that's the plan. But Tom changes it up to me so many times in the last minute. And then we're going to launch a Saturday show. A lot of stakes races this Saturday at Churchill Downs. So Terry and I will be back to do a show just like this for Churchill Downs on Saturday morning. Terry, that wraps up my long run-on sentence. What are your final thoughts before we go? Remember to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm hoping everybody did well on those Breeders' Cups. They were fun to watch, some disappointing and some exciting. And I think there was a couple of times that the calls were not right, especially with Golden Pal. But anyway, other than that, I hope everybody tells their loved ones how they feel about them and has a good week. No matter what you do, I hope it's positive for you.
Indeed. Well, today everybody knows around the country, as if though we don't know from the blitzkrieg of ads on TV, it is midterm election day. If you haven't done so already, go out and you do your civic duty, have your voice be heard, go vote, and then come back here tomorrow to watch how Terry, Charles, and I vote on the horses. It's a lot more fun than politics anyway, Terry. All right, that wraps it up for today. No matter what it is you're doing today, no matter who you voted for, Team Red, Team Blue, or Team Charles and Terry, well, now that does matter. You got to vote for Team Rich. No matter what you do today, we hope that it ends up in only one place, and that can only be
the winner's circle.
Absolutely. Everybody have a fantastic Terry Tuesday. We'll see you most likely tomorrow and then again tonight at 8 o'clock with jockey Jose Gomez.